They're the ones that set up the race and the this, and white male humans were at the top of the evolutionary ladder, and blacks and everybody else were lower, still evolving, closer to the apes and all of this. This was going on for coming out of the 18th century into the 19th century. My point is, in the 1990s, now that we can do genetic tracking and things,
Okay.
now we do genetic tracking,
Yeah.
the world found out that Europeans are between 1 and 3% Neanderthal genetically, and Africans are 0% Neanderthal. So in the 1990s, research papers started coming out talking about how creative and imaginative the Neanderthals must have been and how they used tools. A complete facelift of the Neanderthal.
It's definitely racism, but it sure ain't science. Number 2, it confuses science with pseudoscience. Scientific racism is a relatively modern term for a collection of theories and ideologies that began popping up in the 18th century. It was Carl Linnaeus, the great Swedish botanist and father of modern taxonomy, who laid the foundation for much of scientific racism by categorizing humanity into 4 distinct racial groups: American, meaning indigenous Americans; European, meaning white Europeans; African, meaning black people; and Asian, which he first described as brown and then later revised to yellow. Though the idea that there are significant biological differences between racial groups is no longer widely accepted in the scientific community, in scientific racist circles it remains a fundamental dogma. Other pseudoscientific concepts with close ties to scientific racism include phrenology, the idea that the size and shape of the cranium is an indicator of intelligence or moral character, and biological determinism, the notion that human behavior is entirely determined by genetic factors. Making racism sound superficially scientific undermines genuine science, but it does something even more harmful than that. Number 3, it justifies social inequality. To purveyors of scientific racism, it makes perfect sense that black folks and other people of color are underprivileged compared to white folks because people of color suffer from certain genetic disadvantages that make it virtually impossible for them to compete with white people, and in particular, white men. Under this view, programs such as public assistance for people with low incomes or affirmative action are futile efforts to alter the natural state of things. Racial inequalities and other perceived injustices in our society might feel unfair to the people experiencing them, but there's really nothing anyone can do about them. It's just the way things are.